Brown Fabio is back saying stupid shit. Now here's my intro.
You never let it out.
Cow anus.
The N-word.
Title of the video, 7-year-old murdered. In potential hate crime. Oh, the Young Turks, you didn't racialize it in the title. You're going to let that be a surprise? So instantly, when the Muslim communist douche bro gets on, he's going to racialize it. So why not tell us in the title that it was a white guy that killed a black girl? Why not just say that? That's why you did the video. You know, a wise man once said, you betray your bias in the topics that you select and the framing that you give those topics.
All right, so first of all, you can write any article you like, and you betray your bias in the topics that you select and the framing that you give those topics.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I say a wise man once said? I meant a fat man once said. So you'd think that this story has something to do with a hate crime. I mean, it's going to devolve into talking about hate crimes, when really it has nothing to do with a hate crime. The basis for calling this video and this event a hate crime is that when asked, the police responded and said, we cannot rule out that it's a hate crime. So in other words, it's non-evidence. There's no evidence that it is a hate crime, but they can't rule it out.
I turned on the light and turned around and looked at my 7-year-old, and she was leaned against the door, and she was not moving. She was not breathing. I knew then that she was gone.
Investigators say a man in a red 4-door pickup truck, seen in this surveillance video, opened fire at the family's car. Jasmine was shot and killed.
This is 7-year-old Jasmine Barnes. She was in a car with her mother and 3 sisters when an unknown bearded white male in his 40s wearing a red sweater pulled up in a red pickup truck.
An unknown bearded white male in his 40s wearing a red sweater? Did it have green stripes on it? Was this Freddy Krueger? I don't think Freddy can grow a beard, though. His epidermis took a severe burn, and I just don't think it's possible.
And opened fire at the car she was in. Jasmine died.
Did I cut this man off? Did I make a wrong turn in front of him? Did I stop him from getting out of the Walmart for whatever he was doing? Did I do anything wrong to cause this man to fire shots in my car? And I did it.
It says a lot about our culture when a person randomly decides to gun you down and your first instinct is to blame yourself.
Wait a minute. Did he just strip her of agency again? Why do regressives feel the need to do this? This woman, in her grief, is asking the question, what did I do wrong? Like, how could I have prevented this? This is a normal thought process. If a friend of yours kills themselves, you ask yourself, what could I have done differently? How could I have altered that course of action? When the answer is, well, you couldn't have potentially, and it was really more about what that other person decided to do. But Hasan just said, what does it say about our culture that this black woman said this? Nothing, Hasan. It says nothing about our culture. I mean, why don't you say, what does it say about this black woman that she feels the need to say this? Because she is the one that said it. Nobody forced her to say it. That is her original thought. Now, I am highly skeptical that we have heard all the information about this story. Random guy in truck just comes up and kills people in a car? What is this, a hit? This is not normal. So not all the information is in. We don't know, they haven't caught the guy, and we'll find out more later. But that doesn't stop the Young Turks. No, they're going to capitalize off this and assume it's a hate crime. Why? Well, because a white guy killed a black person. Isn't that just automatically a hate crime? It's funny because if it's the other way around, which happens way more often, when a black kills a white, it's very rare that people call that a hate crime. They're like, no, that was just Omar from The Wire shooting someone with a shotgun. Happened to be white. That's not a hate crime, that's just Omar.
But as LaPortia Washington pointed out...
LaPortia Washington. Let me immediately send that name to Phil Anselmo.
But we do know a little bit about what happened in the situation thanks to interviews with Jasmine's mother, LaPortia Washington, who said, as I turned around and looked back at the street, this is during the attack, I heard shots start firing.
Olha que coisa mais linda, mais cheia de graça, ela menina que vem, que passa, doce balanço, caminho do mar. Moça do corpo.
We are connoisseurs of whimsically original names. La Portia, it does get into the pantheon. La Mercedes. Do you think there's a La Mercedes out there?
But as LaPortia Washington pointed out, she did nothing wrong.
What do you mean she did nothing wrong? Is this listen and believe again? Okay, so it's really interesting that these people are so willing to take things at face value. So she might have done nothing wrong, but why are you saying that definitively? Based off her statement, that's it. I mean, think of that principle. So let's say they catch this guy who shot and killed this kid, and he has a different story. What if he says, La Portia was yelling at me and she was threatening to kill my life, so I felt I had to defend myself and I shot at her. She pulled out a gun, in fact. La Portia pulled out a gun, pointed at me, and that's why I shot her car. Now, what if he said that? Should we then say Freddy Krueger did nothing wrong? Oh, I believe the guy. Why? Well, he said it. He said what happened. So I believe him. It's just a really bad omen that these people show no skepticism at all. It's kind of an insight into how their brains work.
And with no answers as to why this may have happened, the police have not ruled out the possibility that this could be a racially motivated hate crime.
Yeah, and the police have also not ruled out the possibility that this could be a Mars invasion, and that the guy who killed this kid could be an alien himself. Haven't ruled that out. So it's potentially a lot of things, and they're running with it. Is this a hate crime? No, there's no evidence of that. None. They have nothing to say positive in nature that this is a hate crime. They're just saying it hasn't been ruled out. And that's enough. That's enough for these guys. They're like, okay, it's a hate crime. What? No.
So let's talk about that for a second. According to recently released FBI crime statistics, 2018 witnessed a 17% increase in reported hate crimes over the previous year, making this the third consecutive year where hate crimes have increased.
Okay, stop. This is not that impressive, actually. To say hate crimes is very much like hate speech. It's questionable that it's even a thing, and the fact that it should be punished any differently is an absurd notion to me. As in, Dylan Roof, what he did was a hate crime. He didn't like black people. He wanted to punish black people. So he killed a bunch of people, and we should throw him in jail. But we should throw him in jail longer than if he had just killed people for another reason. No. Killing is the crime. More specifically, premeditated killing should be punished as a premeditated killing. That's it. So really all this increase of hate crime is, it doesn't say that there's more hate crimes happening. It says that there's more hate crimes being reported. And this process is shady as hell. There is no checks and balances. There is no verification. It relies on you going to an agency and saying, I was the victim of a hate crime. That's it. It's not the perpetrator admitted it was a hate crime. He said, I did it because I hate this group of people. No. And by the way, hate crimes range from vandalism to murder. Kind of a big spectrum there. So you can bet your ass when they handed out those flyers that said it's okay to be white, they called that a hate crime. Don't lose track of that. So because the narrative is, oh God, I'm special, if someone has a conflict with me, it's probably because of race or my gender or because I'm a trans, and they pretend that it's a hate crime. They take a wild guess and say, you know, the person that said that nasty thing to me or had that encounter with me that was confrontational, I'm going to pretend like I know their intentions and I'm just going to call it a hate crime. It's just that much more important. So this is a silly category, and there is no legitimacy to any of these numbers.
And nearly 3 out of 5 of the 7,100 hate crimes reported last year were motivated by race and ethnicity, with black people accounting for almost half of the hate crime victims.
And he just brushed over, he's talking about hate crime when it comes to ethnicity and race. There's a huge amount of hate crime that is based on religion, and the lion's share of that is against Jews. The people who hate Jews, by the way, Muslims and Turks. Black people accounted for nearly half the hate crime victims last year. That's kind of a misnomer. You're talking about half of the hate crimes dealing with race and ethnicity. And all that tells me is that black people are playing the race card and crying racism every time something happens, which is not surprising. I mean, the Young Turks had this happen to them. They had a black field reporter or some journalist trying to work with TYT, a black guy. He wasn't good at his job, so they fired him. And he sued the Young Turks for racism. I mean, fuck, he could go to the FBI and say that was a hate crime. That's all it takes, guys. And by the way, this is not just the FBI. What has happened in recent years, and what accounts for this uptick of hate crimes, is that the FBI is taking information from other agencies. Unregulated, unmonitored, other agencies. So A group like Black Lives Matter could say, hey, we reported 10,000 hate crimes this year against blacks. Here you go, FBI, include that in the numbers. And this isn't just one or two agencies. This is 1,000 other agencies are sending their completely fabricated numbers to the FBI so that loser propagandists like Brown Fabio can try to take any stat he wants and be like, look, here's what's happening in the world. This is a fucking joke. Here's a New York Times article that Hasan references in this video, talking about hate crimes. It says, reporting hate crimes to the FBI is currently voluntary. Once again, the victims are the ones to determine whether it's a hate crime. You call them up and say, hey, a guy flicked me off today. Okay, and he was a black guy, so it was probably a hate crime. Okay, cool. We'll add it to the list. Last year, roughly 1,000 more agencies submitted data than those that did the previous year. 1,000 more agencies. And again, we're talking about groups like the NAACP, the Southern Poverty Law Center. Any group you want, send your info to the FBI, they'll tally it up. Does anyone think this is useful at all? Oh, Brown Fabio does.
Now, this increase isn't just due to the tense political climate, but also because...
Now, this increase isn't just due to the tense political climate? I don't think the word tense is something that Hasan says. I just don't think that's in his speaking vocabulary. Tense? It sounded weird. It sounded stilted. I don't think he knows what stilted means. Say that again.
Now, this increase isn't just due to the tense political climate.
It came across as really unnatural.
Now, this increase isn't just due to the tense political climate, but also because more agencies are voluntarily reporting their numbers to the FBI.
Oh, okay. More agencies are voluntarily reporting their stuff to the FBI. Right. Where did I just read that? Oh, right. I read it in the New York Times article. Oh, he probably read the same article. Oh, yeah, it's right here. Remember, reporting hate crimes in the FBI is currently voluntary? But where did he get that whole tense political... let me scroll up. What is this? In addition to the tense political climate. Now, what did you say?
Now, this increase isn't just due to the tense political climate.
In addition to the tense political climate. So you, in other words, lifted the exact wording from this New York Times article and didn't mention that. You are reading... You're cheating. I think there's a word for this, fancy word. I think it's called plagiarism. I mean, you did steal my joke about Ben Shapiro and him playing Schindler's List on the violin. You did steal my format and the style of reaction video that I do, and you admitted to it. But now you're just stealing lines from the New York Times. Brown Fabio, if you're gonna lift something, at least paraphrase it. Or you could just say, I'm reading what this New York Times guy wrote.
But in every tally of hate crimes, black people are severely overrepresented.
Let me rephrase that. But in every tally of reported hate crimes, black people are severely overrepresented. Yeah, because they bitch about racism all the time. And because they are fueled by outlets such as yourself, telling them that everything is racist all the time. And the chart you're showing us is showing a steady decline of the percentage of blacks being victims of hate crime. Care to mention that? It's at its lowest level in 20 years, Hasan. I know that doesn't really fit well with your, when Trump got into power, the hate crimes went up narrative. It's actually when Trump got in power, the hate crimes went down as a percentage of blacks being the victims of it. All this shows is that, yeah, when you add 1,000 new agencies reporting whatever the fuck they want about whatever perceived hate crime they think happened to them, yeah, the numbers will reflect that. Who cares?
Wow, here goes Hasan race baiting again. There's no such thing as systemic racism, dude.
There isn't any such thing. What are you even talking about? What system, Hasan? The systemic system of institutional structures? What are you talking about? Yes, black people pretend like they are the victims of hate crimes. Great. So? Who cares? You know, sometimes you run into a situation where you call it a double-edged sword. Or just for short, you could say it's double-edged. This is an expression that is used in chess sometimes. And what it means is, you might make a move in chess that is offensive in nature. You might take a risk, sacrifice a piece, go on a full attack to try to checkmate your opponent. But as you're doing that, it's double-edged because you're not making defensive moves. You're not addressing the threats coming back against you. So while you are being aggressive and offensive, you're opening yourself up to being attacked and potentially checkmated yourself. Hasan is a moron. He doesn't understand that if you want to talk about black people and crime, that's a double-edged proposition. The only context he wants to talk about black people and crime is when black people are the victims of the most crimes. Yeah, there's no problem with black people and crime. They're not committing a lot of crimes. No, they're just the victims of crimes. Those poor blacks, fuck whites. So at this point, I could mention the unbelievably large Jurassic-sized elephant in the room, which is that black people commit a fucking ton of crime. So this insane narrative that, oh, the poor blacks are being victimized. Incorrect, sir. They are the perpetrators of more crimes than any race by a huge amount. And even when it comes to hate crimes, he references a study. You know that graph he just posted? He got that graph from this article from NBC News. It was written by Janelle Ross, who is a blacktivist. Here she is, light-skinned black woman, mulatto, identity crisis, fist up. I wonder what her slant is on all this. Anyway, she writes an article. And in that article, see, there's the graph right there, and right above the graph they say, violence, property crimes, threats, and other offenses inspired by racial animus amounted to the most frequent type of hate crime, reported in the FBI's most recent tally of bias crimes. But then, do you notice that the FBI's most recent tally, all that, is in blue? It's a weird choice to put it in blue. I mean, most text is in black, but they put that in blue. Oh, wait a minute, it could be a hyperlink? Hold up. Oh shit, it's a link. Oh, it's a link to the actual FBI study. Oh, Hasan, did you think someone was gonna do this? Oh, poor baby. So we come to the FBI, it's 2017, hate crime statistics. And we got the victims and we got the offenders. I mean, the victims is interesting. To me, it just says, who are the people that report that they're the victims of hate crimes most? It doesn't really mean much. And it says here that, yeah, within the single bias hate crime incidents, based on race, ethnicity, or ancestry, 48.6% were victims of crimes motivated by their offender's anti-black or African-American bias. Okay, so blacks are complaining and, oh yes, it's racist, everything's racist. Now, 17.1% were victims of anti-white bias. Oh, that didn't get a mention. Interesting. Completely overlooked. And by the way, that number will rise. I wonder if Jared Taylor at the American Renaissance wants to report white hate crimes to the FBI. I mean, out of that 1,000 new agencies reporting crimes, how many of them are people of color-centric organizations? How many white advocacy groups are reporting their, quote, hate crimes? So that's interesting, but we're talking about the victims. That's kind of pathetic. It's kind of a regressive place to be. Oh, we're the victims. Who are the victims? Just claim you're a victim and then I'll care for you because I'm so empathetic. Who are the perpetrators? That's the heart of the issue. That's the problem. Enough of this fucking victim Olympics. Let's get to the root of it. Who's doing this? Now, the Young Turks are suggesting that, oh, it's white people. Obviously, it's whites. I mean, the blacks, they're complaining a lot. They're saying they're the victims of hate crimes. Then it must be whites. Let's find out. Offenders. Did you click this one, Hasan? Did you click it? By race. In 2017, race was reported for 6,370 known hate crime offenders. Of these offenders, 50.7% were white. Boom. That is a huge amount. Oh my God. That's the number one amount. 50%. Over half. Over half were whites. 21.3% were black or African American. Wait, black people are the perpetrators of a hate crime? That's not part of the script. Huh? But it doesn't matter because 50.7 is way bigger than 21.3. Way bigger. So fuck you, whites, man. You're the big problem. Wait a minute. Hold on. My brain is doing something right now. Holy shit. I just realized something. There's not the same amount of whites and blacks in this country. Oh shit. Oh my fucking lord. Wait a minute. There's 63% whites in this country. There's 63% whites, but they're only committing 50.7% of the hate crimes? They're committing way less hate crimes than you would expect. They're underrepresented in hate crimes. Oh no, wait a minute. Blacks are 13.2% of the country, but they're committing 21.3% of the hate crimes? So they're committing more wait, blacks can commit more crimes than other groups? Even hate crimes? Okay, so let's normalize this. What is 63% divided by 13.2? That is 4.77. So there are 4.7 times as many whites as there are blacks. So if there were the same amount of blacks as there are whites, the blacks' numbers would completely eclipse the white numbers when it comes to hate crimes. Anyone shocked? Oh, by the way, fun fact, blacks commit more crimes on every crime than whites, except for jaywalking and drunk driving. Every other crime, this is the trend. So don't be shocked. Wait, Devin. Wait a minute, Devin. You know what's weird? You know who has been just stellar citizens? The Hispanics. You know how I know that? They're not even listed in this hate crime. You got whites, you got blacks, you got Native Americans, Hawaiians they're talking about. Ethnicity. Oh, interesting. 25% were in the ethnic category not Hispanic or Latino. Huh? What? So 25% were not Mexican, so they were white. That's the white group? Whites are 25% of these hate crimes, and they're 63% of the country. Holy shit. 8.8% were Hispanic or Latino. Oh Lord. Oh fucking Lord. So if you do want to talk about hate crimes, how about you report that black people commit way more hate crimes than they should, and white people commit way less than you'd expect? They're not a problem. Hasan, I'm gonna beat your bitch ass like this all year, you communist bitch. Get used to this, motherfucker, and good luck with your crippling insecurity. You're dumb as shit.
Shouting institutional racism does not actually combat racism. You have to find individual instances, and you have to show me who the racists are so that we can fight them together.
Okay, I won't talk about the criminal justice system or voter ID laws.
You just did. What about the criminal justice system? Yeah, a bunch of blacks are committing crimes and they get thrown in jail. What's your point? Voter ID laws? Okay, we can talk about that. It's a minor point. And that's basically done on political lines. That's Republicans rigging the system so that Republicans get into office. It's not racial.
But let's consider the fact that a bipartisan anti-lynching bill was introduced in the Senate this year. An anti-lynching bill in 2018?
Yeah, that's my point. What are you talking about, anti-lynching? It's illegal to lynch someone. What is this? Symbolic nothingness?
What's next? Anti-slave?
The 13th Amendment to the Constitution makes it unconstitutional for someone to be held as a slave. There are exceptions, including criminals.
Oh my god, he cuts to the... What a fucking stupid, cringy attempt at a point. Oh yeah, the 13th Amendment, man. Slavery's not even abolished because we still have prisons. I mean, Jesus Christ, what a fucking waste of time. So because the language used the word slavery, you're pretending that chattel slavery from hundreds of years ago is the same as putting a prisoner in a jail? Wow, that's an incredible point. Ride that horse for as long as you can.
The Justice for Victims of Lynching Act of 2018 notes that during the first half of the 20th century, nearly 200 attempts to pass anti-lynching legislation failed to gain support from the Senate despite the urging of 7 sitting presidents. You know, because states...
And now we're going to a black and white photo of white people talking about race mixing? Hasan, this is so sad. It's so fucking sad, man. You're talking about lynching? Who the fuck is in favor of lynching? You're not allowed to kill people, Hasan. What are you doing? Uh-oh, Hasan, were you triggered by that sign? Race mixing is communism? What the hell does that mean?
It's rights, not racist, by the way. So in a country where even this kind of symbolic protection takes decades to achieve...
Symbolic protection? No, pointless virtue signaling. It's not necessary, therefore it doesn't go through. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money.
It's understandable why black people would fear for their safety.
Oh, fear for their safety. From whom, Hasan? I wonder if there's a stat that talks about who kills black people the most. Let's go ask black people, hey blacks, are you fearing for your safety? Really? From who? White people or black people? Considering that 94%, was it, of the time it's a black killing a black? Hey Hasan, have you glanced at the stats of Chicago killing this year? Here's the final numbers from 2018. Shot and killed, 495. Shot and wounded, 2,466. The total shot, 2,961. Total homicides, 588. That's in one city, and that's 90-something% blacks. Killing blacks. What were you talking about? Fearing for their safety? What was it? Hey Hasan, here's a graph. It's from US News. It's called Interracial Killings. Whites killed by blacks, blacks killed by whites. Oh no, but there's no such thing as structural racism. What do you call this, Hasan? What do you call this? How does this fit in with your narrative? Blacks are killing whites way more than whites are killing blacks. That's funny, except it's not funny. But it's weird how you cover stories where a white killed a black, and yet you ignore the fact that blacks kill whites, what is that, over 3 times as much? Go film yourself doing some more deadlifts, Hasan, hairy bitch.
And while a manhunt is currently underway for Jasmine Barnes' killer...
Why is it that you can't pronounce Jasmine? What is Jasmine?
And while a manhunt is currently underway for Jasmine Barnes' killer...
Jasmine? You said Jasmine Fine earlier.
This is 7-year-old Jasmine Barnes. And while a manhunt is currently underway for Jasmine Barnes' killer...
Is that how your brain works? You mispronounce a name that you've already nailed? Jasmine. No, it's Jasmine.
Authorities say they have very few leads. Luckily, Sean King has stepped in and is offering a $35,000 reward to whoever turns in the murder.
Oh God, Sean King is the role model. Sean King is an absolute disgrace and a disaster of a human being. He's a pot-bellied white guy who is a self-righteous fuck. Sean King is a profound bitch.
And you can contact him confidentially at seanking@gmail.com, or you can contact the Harris County Sheriff's Office directly with more information. There's also a GoFundMe page for the family where you can offer support as well, so please, let's support Jasmine Barnes' family.
Cha-ching! Oh, now that's interesting. Tell people that you're the victim of a hate crime and then beg for money. Great.
And let's do everything we can to bring her killer to justice.
Everything we can? I think the cops got this covered, Hasan.
But let's also stop lying to ourselves and pretending that black people in the United States aren't the targets of violence based on racial animosity that dates back centuries.
Yeah, okay, so black people are the targets of racial animosity. Yeah, they're at a 20-year low of being the targets of racial animosity. Oh, and by the way, they're the perpetrators of racial animosity, committing way more than they should be. They're overrepresented as the perpetrators of hate crime. Oh, by the way, they're overrepresented as the perpetrators of every crime. Oh, and by the way, the people that are attacking black people and inflicting violence upon black people are other fucking black people. So it has nothing to do with your black and white photos and fuck those whites from 100 years ago. Nice try, Hasan. This shit is easy as pie. Go lie down in the fetal position, you communist bitch. You suck at this, Hasan. You're a fake. You're a fraud. You have no idea what you're doing. This has been UCLA flexing on Rutgers. Don't act surprised. I'll see you next time. And now, watch a very artfully crafted music video I did. Very artsy, because I have range like that. Good luck with those deadlifts, you fucking loser.